India and Pakistan have announced a ceasefire. But what does it mean in the larger context? Will it remain limited to formalizing a ceasefire, or it will trigger a broader dialogue between the two nations? A dialogue which the Prime Minister Modi government is avoiding since he came to power. Hi, this is Amir Rana, and in this vlog I will share my perspective on this very important development. And we will see that the prospects of that dialogue and the agenda and its chances for its success. But let's start with the propaganda warfare which the both countries have fought alongside this conflict going on the border. And Indian media was far ahead comparing with Pakistani media, creating hostility and the jingoism in Indian society. And even after the ceasefire, this propaganda warfare still going on in Indian media, and it is not sure that how it is impacting on the public opinion. And of course, the policy discourse derive its strength from the public opinion. And if this hostility is still existing and this jingoism is still evolving, I think then it will put more pressure on Indian government while discussing the issues with Pakistan. Though this President Trump had announced that both countries have agreed on the ceasefire, not only on the ceasefire, but on a dialogue in a third country to discuss their mutual issues and the problems. And which has created this impression that it may mean that India and Pakistan have agreed on a composite dialogue, or maybe the broader dialogue, or to discuss the common challenges, including the terrorism, Kashmir, and water. As Pakistani Defense Minister Khaja Asif has indicated that these three items, the Kashmir, water, and terrorism, will be the top agenda during these talks. But there is a uncertainty still prevailing, despite the reports that maybe the DGMOs will talk soon. And if the DGMOs will talk, of course, they will talk about the modalities of the ceasefire and how long it will prevail. And even they can and they will discuss that if the similar situation again arise, that what would be the modalities for the both countries to develop. After all, both are the nuclear powers, and both will try to avoid targeting the sensitive installation of each other. And anyway, the both countries also have a one pact which is still intact and functional still till 1991. And they had agreed that they will not target each other's nuclear facilities in any case of the war or conflict. And this is very interesting that if this meeting is happening at the DGMO levels, and which of course they also have a hotline and they remain in touch with each other and during the critical and hostile environment. And international media and of course the few sensible Pakistani accounts are also reporting that both the DGMOs had played a very important role reaching on a consensus for the ceasefire. And after their consensus, then there's some intervention being launched from the US. And this is, I think, there's a very positive indication that the both sides have first agreed on a ceasefire or to de-escalating the tension, and after that they uh, reach out to the US and other mediating parties. It was maybe essential for the face saving, and they both sides may not be wanting to give an impression that the both countries have reached at the point where they agreed to de-escalate the tension. And especially, as I had mentioned in my uh, initial comments, the media was creating the hostility, especially in India, and Pakistani media wasn't far behind. So this is if very important, and we can say that what kind of the agenda they will discuss. DGMOs, of course, they will discuss the military affairs. But if dialogue is happening in a third country, discussing all their outstanding issues, as President Trump has mentioned in his initial tweets and statements, it would mean that the both countries will discuss the issues which will remain part of the composite dialogue. And it will not only include the Kashmir, terrorism, water, Sir Creek, Siachen, but the trade relations and people-to-people contact. And if this happens and both sides agree to resume the composite dialogue, it will be a major breakthrough which will come after this a long standing conflict between the two nations. And as I mentioned, the Prime Minister Modi was avoiding the uh, engaging Pakistan in dialogue despite the Pakistan's multiple efforts to engage with India in dialogue and even to discuss the issue of the terrorism, which the India always try to use against Pakistan and try to isolate Pakistan. So India may have some genuine issues related to terrorism, and Pakistan had never denied engaging in the talks on the issue of the terrorism. But if they agreed, I'm not sure that DGMOs will craft or any agenda for the future talks. But who will be doing this task? Is it something is going on in the foreign offices of the both countries? Their military headquarters, within their political parties? Are they linked, are taking into confidence mediators in the US, in Riyadh, and some other countries, including London, UK? So we would see that how the things will evolve in coming days and what kind of the agenda they will pursue. But more an interesting part would be that who will lead this dialogue? Will these dialogues would be at the NSA level, National Security Advisors? And if it would be the NSA level dialogue, I think then it will be the real, very interesting to watch that how the both parties will pursue and convince and evolve the level of the understanding on many critical issues. And the reason is known. Ajit Doval, which is the James Bond of India, so-called James Bond of India, seems to be master of the spy craft and who shaped the Indians' view about Pakistan, Indians' policy about Pakistan. And on the other hand, uh, General Asim Malik, who is also is the DGISI, the most powerful intelligence agency in the country. There is one advantage for India and one disadvantage for Pakistan. Advantage for India, if these talks happen at the level NSA level, that they will have the more second powerful man from the country negotiating with India, with the Modi's top trusted guy, uh, Ajit Doval, and any commitment which Pakistan will make, it will be considered the commitment from both the political and the military leaderships. This is one of the excuse India always make, that to whom to talk in Pakistan. Do we talk to the political leadership? Do we talk to the military leadership in D or Islamabad? I think if this dialogue been initiated, so this excuse will be removed. But then there will be a one disadvantage for Pakistan, that any commitment being made or any announcement made public, it will become hard for Pakistan to deny, and it will become compulsion to abide by all the commitments Pakistan will make. In the past, most of these kind of initiatives had been taken by the civilian leadership. And it may be very interesting to mention here that the non-attack agreement, which both India and Pakistan had signed in 1991, which is still intact, it was initiated in 1988 by General Ziaul Haq. And it may be the one reason that this agreement, which is quite crucial and important agreement, is still intact between the two countries. And Pakistan will be happy to meet with the Ajit Doval. The reason that Pakistan already have contact with him, backdoor contact in the past, from General Nasir Janjua to Moeed Yusuf. And I think through this channel, Pakistan convey whatever is want to convey to the Modi government. But most critical aspect would be that if it will happen on the foreign minister level, then we'll see that this whole process of dialogue will take more time and get prolonged, because then the Jay Shankar, which is the hawk and remain very hostile towards Pakistan, will try to be influenced and try to be prolonged this process. And obviously, the Pakistan knows his credentials, and will try to be come up with more effective foreign minister for the team, which can have create the balance between the two. So what we are discussing, this is all in the realm of the speculations. But my biggest fear is that is this a short-term ceasefire, or it has the potential to become a long-term ceasefire and can trigger a broader and wider dialogue between the two nations. Obviously, when the Trump has mentioned Kashmir in his tweet, it was already one of the diplomatic victory for Pakistan, and India is still reacting to it. And during this peace process, to the talks which I'm just tagging as a peace process, we will see that how the India will enforce its position on the Kashmir issue. But at least that the war, the conflict has been stopped, and there is prospects for the dialogue have emerged. And what important is what the both country needs to reduce the level of the hostility of their media to create the conducive environment for dialogue. Otherwise, the media, especially in India, keep exploiting this tendency and the prospect for the peace. And perhaps, maybe, this conflict and this dialogue have the potential for the longer term uh, peace between the two nations, which they are looking for last 76 years. The media role is very important, who's shaping the policies. Is there anyone in India who can have the same voice and can influence and can advise that this is the time when the both countries can take the advantage of this opportunity? War is bad thing in a simplistic word. It's not going to favor you, it's not going to favor us. It may we can exploit the sentiment of the people, but it's not going to be create even the longer term pride for the both nations. The reason that the common challenges from poverty to the governance issue level we are still facing. So that's all from my side for today, and we will see that how the process will evolve, and see that what kind of the discussions both the NSAs would have, not the NSAs. First, I think the first contact is going to be established is this on the level of the MOs, DGMOs. Let's hope for the best and remain hopeful that maybe sanity prevails. Thank you very much for watching Narratives with Amir Rana.